you. Actually, we're going to start off that way. I'll say my name is Katie Kelly. I work at Microsoft. I head up engagement at AltspaceVR. But before I get into the actual talk, I want you guys to move around a little bit. And don't worry, it's going to matter. Has anybody here ever played Rock, Paper, Scissors, Superstar? Oh, you're going to have so much fun. Nobody knows. OK, everybody knows Rock, Paper, Scissors? Yeah? All right. All right. So what we're going to do is I want you guys to get to know each other a little bit. And this is what I do in my day job every day. So hopefully I can get you guys as excited as random avatars in VR. But you're going to play a game of rock, paper, scissors with somebody next to you. And then, oh, and I don't know if any of you are East Coast or West Coast, but we're not doing any East Coast rules. No rock, paper, scissors, shoot. We're doing West Coast rules. Rock, paper, scissors, go. So it's rock, paper, scissors. On scissors, you put your scissors, your rock, or your paper down. So if you lose, you're not going to sit there crying. You're going to become the person that beat you's biggest fan. And you are going to root them on. So Becky, would you come up here for 1 second? Everybody, Becky Haruyama, who's on my team, she heads up our events team. So I'm going to show you guys how this works. So a refresher. Rock beats scissors, scissors beats paper, and paper beats rock. All right, so we're going to do one round, okay? Okay. Rock, paper, scissors. Ooh. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. All right, all right, all right. But now I'm super excited, like, Becky, Becky. And then you're going to go find somebody who's still winning, and you're going to play them. This is going to last for maybe 3 minutes. We're just going to go that quickly. And when I get down to 2 people playing, they're going to come up here, and you're going to keep rooting each other on. All right, just try it. So everybody stand up. And if you can't stand up, stay seated. We will come to you. And let the rock, paper, superstar adventure begin. Right. All right, I want to play somebody else. All right, who won? Ready? Okay, rock, paper, scissors. Man, you're good. Wait, what's your name? Cecile. Cecile, where's Cecile's biggest fan now? Come on, Cecile, 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 Cecile. I want to hear you shouting your person's name. Come on, Cecile. Okay. Come on, Cecile, come on, Cecile. Come on, guys. Come on. Oh, Becky, Becky. Right, now all of us are Becky's fan. Becky, Becky, Becky. Raise your hand in the air if you're still in. Raise your hand in the air if you're still in. We got some here. Oh, come over here, come over here. All right, Becky, 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 Becky. Come on, Becky, come on, Becky. Don't be nice, don't be nice. Come on. Rock, paper, scissors. Oh, what's your name? What's your name? Justin. Justin, Justin. All right, who's still in? Who's still in? Justin, Justin. All right, all right. Do I only have 2? Wait. Hold up, hold up. Do I only have 2 left? Oh, wait, we got one over there. Okay, go ahead, go ahead. Okay, go for it. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Come on, Justin. Woo! All right, come up stage, come up stage. I think I have a winner over here. Who's the winner? Up here on stage. We got one more. Oh, we got 3. Come on, no, come up here, come up here. Let's get all 3 of you. Okay, I'm going to start off with you 2 first. All right, this is a showdown. Do you guys remember who you're cheering for? All right, let's hear their names. Come on. All right. We're going to do you next. Go on. Okay, we got 1 round, only 1 round. Ooh, thank you so much for playing. What was your name? Craig. Okay, who's Craig's biggest fan now? Come on, come on. Well, we still got, come on. We got 1 more left. And what's your name?
Supreet.
Supreet?
Yeah.
Who's Supreet's biggest fan? All right. You get 3 rounds this time. Best out of 3. Best out of 3. Now shout their names. Come on. Who are you a fan of? There we go. All right. After you. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock. Oh, these guys are good. Oh. All right. We got one over here. Okay. Go ahead. There we go. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors. Oh, tied. This is the last one, guys. Rock, paper, scissors. Nice job. Let's raise the hand high. All right, thank you for playing. Okay, why did I just have you do that? Because I'm social, thank you. So I want to first try to convince you that what we're doing right now in Altspace or in any social VR platform is kind of setting the tone for what the internet might be. If anybody tells you that they're working on the Metaverse, like, you can walk away right now. Nobody knows what that's going to be. I mean, we all say it because it's like, oh, a big fancy word, but we don't know. And they didn't know what the internet was going to be. They didn't know what communication was going to be when they figured out phone calls. But if we look at kind of the tradition of what's happened up to this point, when it comes to all these different technologies, what we're seeing in Altspace and other similar platforms might just be the future of whatever that is next. And so, an example. Right now in Altspace, people are hanging out with strangers. Who here has ever been to Altspace or visited? Oh, yay! Hi. Okay, so you've seen me probably in my avatar. I'm trying to wear the little red heart that my avatar has right now on. But if you haven't been in Altspace, we're a social platform for people to come out and hang out in VR, whether they're on a Rift, a Vive, a Gear VR, an Oculus Go, a Windows Mixed Reality headset, 2D on your Android device, or on your PC. So you can put on a headset anywhere in the world, and you're in a room with other people. And what I work on is what do you do with them while they're there? And so going back to how this is setting the stage for the future of the internet, way back when, people used to, in the very beginning of the internet, people just like connected with whoever was also on the internet, because there weren't that many of them. So right now, we're seeing that with headsets. Probably your best friend and your family, they don't have VR headsets yet, so what we're left with is a place where strangers have to hang out together. And some social VR platforms aren't taking that bet. They want to make sure that you're in there with friends and people that you know. But we really want to try to encourage as many people in VR interacting together, and so we are an open place for strangers. But that also gives us a lot of responsibility. And if I leave you with anything, I really hope that you take away from this that if you're doing anything with VR, that you're going to be thinking through how to best make people's experience good in VR, whether you're social, whether it's just one person playing a game. But I think we have a responsibility now to go, this might be the future of how we interact in like the universe, so we better make it a good place to start now. Thank you, Becky. She's on my team. You can tell we have a lot of energy. And also, I'll let you know, too, that they're live streaming an event in AltspaceVR right now. So hey, AltspaceVR peeps, and thank you for watching and joining us, too. So AltspaceVR started about 4 years ago. I've been with the company for 2.5 years, and we got acquired by Microsoft back in September. And when we started out, we really didn't know what we were going to be. When I started, the DK2 was the only thing out, and people came into an empty house, maybe 1 or 2 at a time. And then all of a sudden, Gear VR came out, and we had a house full of people. And so we really had to decide kind of really quickly how are we going to help those people interact with other people and also have a good time. So you guys have heard a lot about sexual harassment and just strangers in general getting together and how fast people are going to cause a lot of chaos. So one thing that we had to consider really quickly is how do you make sure that you have a welcoming space for people? We try to stay away from necessarily the word safety because in a lot of ways we want anybody to feel invited into Altspace. We have public spaces, we have private spaces. If you want to come in and watch whatever you want and share that with your friends, you should have a way of doing that. But we have public spaces that we consider like our public parks or like our restaurants. So in those spaces, the rules are going to be a little different. So we want to make sure that everybody feels welcome when they come. And that's also kind of I'm going to jump around a little bit because I think there's a lot Altspace covers in the way of how you get strangers interacting, but also how we're setting the tone for what's to come. So I apologize if I jump around. It's mostly just I'm really excited about all these things, and I want to leave you with little tidbits that you can take with you. So public parks and restaurants. So in a lot of ways, we're not working with the next generation of the internet. We're working with a little bit of a downgrade of what the real world is like. So we're not trying to think like, how do we make a web page better? We're thinking, how do we bring what we've learned from big festivals or the best restaurant in the world or the best schools in the world, and how do we bring that into Altspace? So one thing that we try to do is make sure that you feel comfortable by having 24/7 moderators. So we have somebody in AltspaceVR living and breathing at all times that is there ready to help you and engage with you. They are called our customer service team. I think Faye right now is manning the event. Hey Faye. But that's been really important to us because we want to make sure that you feel like you want to be a good person when you're around. But then what's really interesting is that our community that came in started creating a culture that they also wanted to be a part of. And I think we've seen that with MMOs. Like, we are not new to this. Like, if you've been working in gaming at all, so many people have done this so well. We're just trying to use that information to make sure that it works in virtual reality. So we have moderators, and then our users started to craft this culture. So much so that there was a period of time where we closed down last summer, and then we were very excited when Microsoft acquired us. But during that time, a bunch of us went rogue, and we just gave admin status to a bunch of our users, and just like left and shut the door, and Altspace was still running. A month later, I went into Altspace as just a guest user, and I walk into the campfire, and an avatar comes up to me and goes, "Welcome to AltspaceVR. We see that you're new. Can I show you around? Do you have any questions?" And I was like, who are you? And if Chris or Leah is watching, thank you, thank you, thank you. But we had a bunch of users that just stepped up and were like, we want to keep this place awesome, so we're going to do it ourselves. And so we think that we helped set the tone of that, but it's really about the people we attracted that wanted to stay and then kept that tone going. And we hear that time and time again, that AltspaceVR is a friendly place to be. And I don't know about you, but I am nurturing that and trying to cultivate that. Like it's the most important thing to us in the world. Because as soon as we lose that, then you lose the community. So again, it goes back to, what are we building? And in a lot of ways, we are building a actual real-life community that you want to be a part of. So we're adult, we're friendly. We try to make sure that when you come in, you have something to do and some way to meet other people. And so all of our activities, all of our events. Oh, events. So events are our bread and butter. So you have a headset, you probably know some people that have headsets, and once in a while you might be like, oh, I wonder where that thing is, and you go to the corner and you pick it up and you kind of dust it off, and you're like, okay, I'll put that back on my head. So what we found is that having an event is a really good reason to get somebody to put on a headset and come into VR. And so we have really amazing time-specific events throughout the day run by us, run by our community. We have talk shows, we have comedy shows, we have an Lgbt Meetup that's been meeting once a week for the past year, and all these other events that people are coming up with to create content that people want to come and experience. So it's kind of the early days of YouTube a little bit in that way. And going to the Lgbt Meetup, this is also kind of like, as we see where this platform is going, a lot of the people that are in marginalized groups are figuring out a way to use this technology so that they can come together. And I really trust it when I see those people using a technology. I want to go there. And I feel like that they're the ones that are really going to start what this culture is going to be going forward. So our LGBT Meetup, I started probably a year and a couple months ago. And it was the first time we'd really done a meetup use case. And the way our events work, we can have an unlimited amount of people come into an event at a time. And the way we do that is that we'll fill a room with people, we'll duplicate that room, fill it with people, duplicate the room, fill it with people, and whoever the host is will mirror you to each one of those rooms. So we did that for this meetup. And so I'm talking to an empty room because I don't want to be talking to somebody that other people can't see. So I'll be in a room by myself. And then if somebody wants to talk, they just raise their hand and we will mirror that person to every room. It's a little dark mirror and a little bit like futuristic, but it works to get a lot of people experiencing content together. In a meetup use case, though, what you have is somebody wants to talk from South Africa about fighting for gay rights there, talks to a guy from Turkey that is filling out an exam to prove that he's gay so he doesn't have to join the military, but they don't believe him, so he has to join the military anyways, talking to a couple in Australia that's also fighting for gay rights there. And then my favorite story is this girl that was like 16 years old, and she was nervous to talk to the group, so she virtually taps one of my teammates and goes, I really want to talk, but my family doesn't know I'm gay. So what do I do? And so he tells me this to the group, and there's probably like 300 people that are at this event. And I ask her, I'm like, what's something you love to talk about? And she goes, chocolate. And I go, okay, every time you want to say the word gay, say the word chocolate. This girl talked for 15 minutes straight about her favorite types of chocolate, the other people that love chocolate at her school, all the different types of chocolate she wants to try. And then 2 months later, this girl comes out to her family because she had her community in VR that she felt like, oh, I'm not so different. And we've heard that story now so many times. And also we have people, I think I heard of another couple just last week that just got engaged that met in Altspace. This is starting to happen like every month now, I can't keep track. We had a wedding in VR last year. Another couple got married a couple weeks ago. I posted it on my Twitter. You should go and check out their story. But they had a bunch of people that came to the wedding were people that they knew in Altspace. So these people are using this platform to meet like-minded people, to start having adventures with other people, and to start like growing their community through VR. And so what that means for the future, I think, is a couple different things that I hope you guys take away from this. So Altspace is in a lot of ways like the internet because every space is like a web page. And if you're a developer, we have a SDK program that you can basically bring in a URL and you can either bring in an app or you can bring in a full space environment. A lot of our users have created amazing works of art in Altspace and then shared it with their friends. So you can think of us almost like sharing a 3D web page. You can also think about us as if you have no developing experience. We are a really easy way for you to create content because you can create an event. This woman, Vivian, hi Vivian if you're there or watch this later. Vivian is this amazing woman that actually unfortunately got diagnosed with cancer recently, and she has such a strong story. And then right before she went in for her first round of chemo treatment, she actually did her talk show in Altspace from a Gear VR from her hospital bed before going in for her chemo treatment. And from hearing from her, it sounded like she felt buoyed up because she had this community in VR that were rooting her on so that she was ready to do this. And Vivian is just an example. She's not a developer, but she's an amazingly creative person that will go on stage in VR and tell her story. And so anybody here, like if you just want to start making VR content, think about us as a way of doing that. And there's already, and also I don't want to make it just about Altspace. I think there are a lot of amazing companies tackling this, not necessarily problem, but challenge, exciting challenge. Like Facebook Spaces, Mozilla just came out with hubs. It was awesome. I have a bunch of people from the Altspace team that now work over there. We have VR chat and Rec Room is amazing. And if you look at all these different companies, they're all tackling little different parts of kind of the social VR universe. So I really encourage you to try all of them. I think Altspace, the way that we're trying to stand apart is just no matter what, you can find something to do in Altspace, and you can connect, and you can create events and find reasons to find your tribe in Altspace, and it's going to be a really friendly place to be. And I think a lot of other companies are looking at different activities and really exciting things you can do with your friends. But if you want to try Altspace, that's really what we're about. And if you have any questions along the way or what makes us tick, I would really love to talk to you. You can always write events@altvr.com if you have any event ideas and you want us to help get you going. And I know I didn't even use my presentation. I got too excited talking. But this is me. And feel free to reach out on Twitter or otherwise. We really want to enable the next generation of VR content creators and to think about Altspace as a way to do that and how potentially down the line it might be the place that all of us are interacting and making our new friends. So thank you so much for playing, and it was very nice to meet you.
If you have any questions, we're taking them through Slido, the Slido app. Which we curate online, but if there are any here in the audience, just raise your hand. Yeah.
I would just ask generally, obviously this is something people have been excited about for a while. You guys have been around for 4 years. What's the biggest thing holding?
Thanks.
Holding us. So the question was, what's the biggest thing holding us back? I think it's the amount of VR out there, and I think you'll hear that just from VR users in general. But even that, though, I feel like we're in a lucky place because enough people that have VR seem to like being in Altspace. It's given us a really good community for where we're at. So I don't know if that's necessarily holding us back. I think some of it's content too. Like I mentioned the YouTube scenario. We partnered with NBC and Reggie Watts, Drew Carey, Al Roker has spoken Altspace. So it's really trying to get these entertainment companies and entertainers to think of VR, social VR, as a place to reach out to people. So our community is doing an amazing job creating events, but I think for it to really take off, everybody's waiting for that killer app, right? For us, we're kind of waiting for the killer events, for people to come and just make more content to keep people coming back. Any other questions?
I have one. Here we go.
Hey, first of all, I just want to say I love Altspace.
Yay!
My question is, what's the most important insight you've learned while running Altspace VR?
Oof. That people are just people. I think we did our partnership with NBC, and we were going to show live stream of the elections in VR. And I remember we had this big board meeting, and everybody was like, are we really going to invite people from both sides of the spectrum into a space together to watch this election and think that that's going to go okay? And we had all these fail-safes in place, but then 900 people showed up to watch the live streams, and they actually talked. Some of them yelled at each other, but it wasn't the same as YouTube comments and people getting mean, because they had to make eye contact. They had to look at the person they were talking to. And so what I feel like the biggest insight is once you get people feeling like people in a space together, they're actually pretty nice. And you do get the trolls, and you have to make sure to plan for them, because people, you have a responsibility in your app to do what you can. But in general, if you believe in people, I feel like they surprise you. And the other one too is just how many people actually want to connect. I went in just a couple weeks ago, and there was a woman in Palestine and a guy in Jerusalem talking in our just welcome space, just talking. They were also arguing, but they were talking. And so I think if we can enable more people to just be able to connect, I think we're going to see amazing things happen.